everyone, Joshua Hanlon here at Brickworld Chicago, and I'm with Nick Brick, and he's got some incredible new LEGO video game weapons he's going to be showing us. He's got a bunch of displays here. Some of these we've shown in past years, so if you haven't seen those more in-depth videos, definitely check those out. But we'll dive into this one first. Tell us what this is.
Hi, I'm Nick Jensen, also known as Nick Brick. Here I got the battle rifle from Halo Infinite, the BR-75 battle rifle. So my first Brickworld where I was an exhibitor was in 2010, and one of the big builds that I brought to that was the battle rifle from Halo 3 when Halo 3 was relatively new. I think it was the most recent Halo game at that time.
It's been a lot of years.
Yeah, Halo Reach was coming out. It was the third game in the series, third multiplayer game in the series. Now here we are with the seventh in the series, Halo Infinite, and it kind of feels like just like a expansion of my skills, a way to show how far I've come as a builder. Just the first battle rifle I made for Brickworld was very blocky, but it had some basic functions. You can see it through the scope and all that. And here we are with one of my most realistic replicas yet. It's super sturdy too. It's got a weight of 4.5 pounds, which is close to a weight of an actual battle rifle, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, let's go into some of the details on here. One of the new techniques I came up with here is this mounting rail technique that uses some of these new roof slopes that fit in a 1x1 area. Looks pretty realistic, I think, and it's actually useful because it can mount stuff like this scope. There's no other attachments that really appear in Halo Infinite, like maybe like a laser or like a flashlight, but it's still there. You still got the option to do that. It's got other details like the 36 to the ammo counter right there. And you can kind of see through the scope. I don't know if it's going to show up on camera that well, but we can give it a shot. And
a little bit. There you go.
Heck yeah. All right. And one of the other iconic details to every battle rifle in the Halo series is this triangular pattern. And fortunately, that's gotten easier to do over the years. The first time I had to do that in 2010, I was using like click hinges and it looked too deep, but now we got these triangular tiles that made it almost too easy, but at least it's a sturdier technique that makes for a fairly sturdy battle rifle that I can hold with one hand, not worry about it breaking. Feels pretty good in your hands. And let's show some of the functions. We can pull the trigger. I'll show that my other hand. You can pull on the charging handle. And we can pull out the magazine as well. We got an empty one right here. And another one with a bullet on top right here. Load that in. Oop. Whoops.
Just a little repair, it's okay.
It's proof that it's not glued. But yeah, there we go.
One of the interesting things with your weapons is always kind of the internal structure. So what was your approach with this one? Was there anything kind of considerably different than some of the past guns you've done, or how do you generally approach that?
It's common to think that the sturdiest way to build a structure with LEGO is to use Technic. And that would be correct if you're also including moving functions. Yeah, Technic's going to be your sturdiest bet. But if you're making something more static or simpler functions like what would be in this model, actually building bricks going in different directions is the better way to go. And if you look closely, you can see where studs are facing outward instead of upward. That's all internal structure. That's all holding this thing together, resisting some of the shear forces on the inside and all that. I'm a mechanical engineer by day. This stuff I have to worry about as well. So any medium, even LEGO that's known to be fragile, can be structurally sound if you build it the right way. So turn those plates sideways, turn those tiles sideways, and you'll be able to counteract some of those bending forces and be able to make something that holds together.
Yeah, absolutely. You see that on like countless examples around a convention like Brickworld, is people using that type of a technique to create amazing, like large structures, small structures, whatever it is, and just get that kind of strength that they need for the build.
Yep, and it's much more economical that way. It's more common to get plates and tiles than it is to spend a little bit more money on bricklink to get long Technic bricks. It's still a strategy to make a structure, but I don't think it's the best strategy.
So now we'll check out the next weapon you have. I think this is also a Halo weapon, one of your newer builds, right?
Yeah, this one is one of my newer builds, but goes back to the first game in the series.
Okay.
This is the M60 Magnum from Halo Combat Evolved, and this one of the most infamous weapons in the game, because in the multiplayer they shipped the game where the pistol can kill in 3 shots, and that was so broken. It's one of the starting weapons. There's not really any reason to get rid of the pistol in multiplayer. Like, you're not going to swap that for the assault rifle, where it takes so many more bullets and so much more control. Much easier to use that one.
Yeah, and you got the sweet chrome elements on it here?
Yeah, those are chrome elements from Chrome Block City. Spent a pretty decent amount of money, but they're absolutely worth the premium. It's absolutely great quality chrome parts. Yeah, I'm really happy with my purchase. This was a dream project of mine. Last year at Brickworld 2024, I did exhibit this M60 Magnum there, but I wanted to make one where I can chrome plate the whole thing, where it looks kind of like the original game. Wasn't really reflective, but they kind of made textures for the original Xbox era to kind of suggest that it would be chromed or have a shiny finish to it.
Yeah. Any functions you can show us on this one?
Yeah. I'm going to get fingerprints all over this thing, but that's all right. We'll clean up after the interview. But on this one, we got moving trigger. You can pull back on the slide, and it exposes the barrel. And we got a removable magazine. It's going to be a little tight, but hopefully that should come out on camera. There we go. And yes, this is actually what the magazine looks like. We get some Halo fans that are confused, like, why does the part of the grip come with it? Well, you got to look at the reload animations in slow motion. I do a lot of research in my builds just to make sure it's absolutely right. And you get those fans that are like, well, I know everything about Halo. Why would they do that? Like, do you know everything about Halo? I did my research.
I would not second guess you, Nick.
I appreciate that.
So this is some of your Halo weapons, but I think you've got some other games represented here as well, right, with some new builds?
Yeah, so here we are in the year 2025, and we go back to 2012. We had a Call of Duty game called Call of Duty Black Ops 2 that took us to the near future of 2025.
Okay.
So here we are in a modern setting for what was considered a futuristic game. I have here the Cap 40 from Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Now, the Cap 40 was based on, in 2012, a real firearm called the Chris Card, and I think it was only a prototype, only ever was a prototype. I don't think it ever made it to market. I don't know for sure. Didn't really follow much on that, but yeah, it was based on a real weapon, and they just took that and gave it like a finish to it. So at like SHOT Show or wherever they were showing the prototype, it just looked like a prototype. It was just proving the concept of the gun, and they added rail systems, the design language of the Chris Vector, and just added their own Black Ops futuristic flair to it. And this one does have functions as well. So on this one, can pull the trigger. Can remove the magazine as well. This is the empty mag, and on the full mag, you can see some of the bullets on there. And that just clips in there like that. And we can also pull back on this charging handle that pulls back on the hammer and will open the bolt like that.
One little small repair.
Well, we'll fix that in post. So, yeah, that happens sometimes. Look, they're not glued. I try my best to make sturdy models, and sometimes that just happens. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, that's the Cap 40. And, yeah, it's a celebration of Black Ops being modern warfare in the year 2025.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you were able to bring that out. So now,
to go along with it, we also have the combat knife from Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And I I think it was the first Call of Duty game where the knife was its own equipable weapon, so more people would probably recognize this one than in previous Call of Duty games where the knifing animation happens so fast, that you just would not see it.
What is this element around the hilt here?
So around the grip here, we got a pneumatic hose that was actually used, obviously for pneumatics on Technic sets, but it was also used as the cable for the NES controller on the Nintendo Entertainment System set. And I think there's 3 of those wrapped together and bound together with 2 stud-long bars. So yeah, we got 3 of those wrapped around and coiled around there, and it feels like a pretty good grip. And that's the combat knife from Call of Duty Black Ops 2 right there.
Okay.
And I got one last build to show that's new to Brickworld 2025, and that would be the Malorian Arms 3516 from Cyberpunk 2077. This is the main firearm used by the infamous Johnny Silverhand. Johnny Silverhand, of course, being played by Keanu Reeves in the game, as well as the frontman of my favorite punk band, Refused, a man named Dennis. I'm not going to butcher his last name. But here is the Malorian Arms 3516. It's like a super powerful, high caliber handgun, and it's kind of like a callback to the blaster seen in Blade Runner, used by Rick Deckard, where it has like that translucent grip, whereas in Blade Runner it was a translucent orange, like an amber. This one's translucent red, and you can see through it and see the metal insert on the inside. So this one has a couple functions as well, and hopefully it'll go all right on camera, but this is also the most fragile one, so we'll see. But on this one, we have a removal magazine with a working mag release button. There's an empty one. You got a full one right there with a giant caliber bullet. But I'm going to put the empty one back in. You can see it click into place as well. Mm-hmm. Got a working trigger. And we can pull back on the slide. And it's just massive slide because I think it's inspired by the real world Desert Eagle. It's just like massive caliber handgun, unnecessary caliber handgun. But yeah, it feels like an absolute monster hand cannon, and it just fits Johnny Silverhand's style. Right next to it is an older build of mine, but it's Johnny Silverhand's guitar from the game. He's the frontman of this made-up punk band called Samurai, played by Refused. So Refused wrote some new songs for Cyberpunk 2077. It was actually the reason why I got the game in the first place. I just love that band so much. And yeah, those two together kind of reflects his personality. And we got a Lego minifigure version of Johnny Silverhand with his guitar and actually the Blade Runner blaster by Brick Arms. But I thought it would be funny because I don't have a Brick Arms version of the Malorian Arms, but let's put the gun that it's inspired by.
I like the subtle detail of the gold pieces here for the sights.
Thank you. There's actually a little notch inside of the roller skate there that is perfect for the pistol bucket sights. I think they're called bucket sights. I think it's one of the terms that one of my gun nerd friends had told me. I don't know much about it. I just play video games, man.
That's how we get here to all of this.
Yep, I'm a video game player first. Not much of a gun nut, if you can believe that. I mean, I've shot before. I've actually shot a Desert Eagle before, but yeah, it's mostly the video games, playing multiplayer, playing good stories. And I like bringing that to life in, I guess, cosplay format, you could call it, or prop making format.
So I know you also post a lot of your own content online. If people want to see, more of this or really any of the builds you've done in the past, what's the best place to kind of check your work out? I'm on Instagram and TikTok as @NickBrickBuilds, on YouTube as @NickBrick, and I'll constantly posting shorts, maybe sometimes long form videos, but those take a while. It's only me. But yeah, you can find me there. Yeah. Well, great work. Thank you for taking us through your new builds here and for bringing out all of this stuff here at Brickworld. I know it's always very exciting. I think a lot of people, obviously, who are fans of these different properties can come to the show and recognize this stuff, so it's a great way to connect with people.
Yeah, thank you, Joshua, and I'm glad to do this live so I can show, like, these are actual Lego models that can fall apart.
Yes.
In my own content, I'm going to pick the best clips, but it's good to do this live and show, like, these are real models. I'm a real person, and this really happens.
Absolutely. We'll keep up the great work, Nick. Thank you.
Thank you.